welcome back to What's New at Greenbelt Cinema. I'm Sheila Tillert.
I'm Caitlin McGrath.
And we're here to tell you all about what's coming to Greenbelt Cinema for the month of October. So Caitlin, what's new this month?
So it's an exciting month as we're headed in toward Oscar season. So a lot of those titles that I saw at TIFF are starting to come out. And two of them we have this week. So we have the new animated film, Wild Robot.
Oh, yay.
It's beautiful, based on a very popular children's graphic novel series.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't either. My kids were too big, I think, by the time it was popular. But from those who know the series, I see that they've done a really good job in the adaptation. And from what I saw, it's a really beautiful film about a robot who accidentally washes ashore. They don't specify, but it looks like Pacific Northwest, kind of, like rocky shores with pine trees kind of thing.
Love it.
It's very beautiful. And it's all about the robot who's supposed to learn and sort of be an AI assist robot to humans, then learn its environment, the language of the animals, and like how to be part of this little animal community. And then the mothership tries to come back and take the robot, but she's declared herself to be a wild robot now. So it's sort of about that. Yeah, it's very well done.
And a lady robot.
Yes, right. I know. Yeah.
I hear it's a star-studded cast in that one.
Yes, yeah, a lot of famous voice actors. Or famous actors doing the voices.
Yeah,
so it's fun to try and pick them out.
Who's who? Yeah.
Yeah. So I thoroughly enjoyed that one at TIFF. It was a nice break from a lot of the otherwise kind of heavy films that tend to dominate that festival.
I bet.
So that was good. And then the other one is a documentary called Will and Harper, and it's about it's a documentary of a road trip that Will Ferrell takes with his longtime friend and partner from SNL, who is now Harper Steele, but had previously is transitioned into living as a woman. Mm-hmm. And so it's all about Will getting to know Harper as separate from the person that he knew when they were at SNL together. Harper rose to the ranks of being the head writer at SNL when Will was sort of at his peak.
Wow.
So they're incredibly, they're very good friends. But during the pandemic, they lost touch a little bit, and Harper got in touch and said, "Listen, I've been struggling with this, but I've decided that I'm gonna, I'm transitioning into being a woman, and how do you feel about that?" And part of what came out was that Harper used to love crisscrossing the country, just would drive coast to coast a lot.
Ooh.
And now is, admitted to Will, I'm not sure I feel safe. I'm not sure that I'm going to be accepted, and I'm worried about that. And so Will said, "Will you want to take a road trip with me?" And so it's about them kind of reconnecting as friends in this new relationship. And also Will is, giving Harper support when they go to places like Texas and Oklahoma to sort of explore, what is it like? Can I go to the rodeo? Can I go to the dive bar? And, will I be accepted? And it's incredibly touching. It's another one I saw at TIFF, and both Will and Harper were there. And
wow,
it was standing ovation at the end when they came out, just like tears flooding. It's a really important film, I think, for people to see, whether or not you have a trans person in your life, because it's just so honest. And Harper basically says, we're friends, there's nothing you can't ask me, and so the bit that's in the trailer is he's goofing around with him. He's like, "So do you think you're a worse driver now that you're a woman?"
Oh my God.
And so but it gets more serious than that, but they're just so comedically good together that it's very funny. But it's also incredibly touching and poignant at points when Will is struggling and realizing life is hard for Harper. I sort of take for granted how easily I move through the world, not just as a celebrity, but as a cisgendered man, mm-hmm. It's very eye-opening for him, and then as a result, eye-opening for the audience. So we are having a special screening of that. I mean, it's starting Friday night, but Hillary House, our very own Greenbelter, is going to be joining us for a post-screening discussion Sunday at 5.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to hearing what she thinks about it. And Harper talks about, I don't know if I even like me, and just gaining self-acceptance, which I think also goes beyond a trans issue and just everybody. How do you make peace with who you are when you get to adulthood and you're like, well, this is me. There's one version of me, and this is going to be it. And I found it very moving, and I think it's really appropriate for pretty much all ages. I would say early teens and up, and I'm going to bring my kids. I think it's important for them to see. And
Definitely.
so, yeah, so I'm really happy that we're able to bring that. And then next Thursday is our cult classic. So on the 17th is Jennifer's Body.
Ooh.
And we have a treat. We're experimenting with a trivia night beforehand. So the film is at 8, but at 7 we're going to have open to trivia, so you can come and play some cult classics related trivia games.
Oh, that sounds so fun.
Yeah, sort of make a night of it. So we're partnering with a group in DC that does this, that runs trivia nights. So we're
Cool.
we're excited to see how we can, like, again, we're just trying to come up with ways to make it a fun experience out of, like, yes, you could watch Jennifer's Body at home. It's not on the big screen, and it's definitely not with trivia night. So,
And I've never seen Jennifer's Body, so
Yeah.
I'd love to see it on the big screen and finally
you go.
understand what all my high school friends were talking about.
There you go. Exactly. Yeah, never too late. And then, of course, that weekend is Utopia. So we're looking forward to that.
As are we.
And then on Monday the 21st, we have story time. Of course, it's the third Monday of the month, so we always love to have the littles with us and, look forward to some fresh chalk outside.
Yes.
And that same week, so that's Monday, and then that Friday is Wild Rumpus.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So soon.
I know.
Wow.
Time's really, it's clicking along. So
Yeah.
so we'll be participating in that, of course. And we, for the film that we'll show after the rumpusing, we're going to show Room on the Broom, which is a Julia Donaldson. It's an adaptation of her book. She's the one who wrote The Gruffalo. She's got a whole bunch of these that are, if you have kids of a certain age, she's like,
Okay.
we're really big into Tiddlers late. So, yeah, and Room on the Broom is very sweet. It's about a witch who makes room on her broom for all the creatures that need.
Aw.
Yeah, so it's a very sweet Halloween themed.
Yeah, I love that.
Not super spooky, which is okay because, the trick-or-treaters tend to be on the
Younger side for sure. Yeah.
Yes.
Sounds good for me too. I scare easy. So.
Yeah.
I'll be there.
Yeah. Well, okay, so there is like a mud monster, so just be prepared. There's like a little bit of scariness at the end, but it all works out in the end because it's not what you think it is, so there's a twist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then that following Monday is for the last Monday of the month, our Film in Focus, so our lecture series. And this time, this makes me feel old because it's the 25th anniversary of Run, Lola Run.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
25?
Yeah. So we are having a guest speaker with us. We've had Dr. Hester Bayer join us before from UMD. So she's coming back to lead the discussion on Run, Lola Run. And it's also on International Animation Day.
Ooh.
Yeah, and there's an animated sequence in Run, Lola Run. So,
Yeah.
we did put this film on that date for that reason, but I can't claim to have orchestrated it that much because it's just always on the last Monday, and it landed on that day.
Yeah.
But
serendipity.
Yeah, exactly. So we're looking forward to that. It's kind of wild to think about. That's technically a classic film now, even though it's from the late '90s. But that's where we're at.
Still think of it in my head as this cool, newer indie film.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like you were cool in high school if you knew that.
That's right. See, so we're. Yeah. And then that same week, we are partnering with CRAB. CRAB, of course, the Community Relations Advisory Board in Greenbelt. Yeah.
Okay.
To put on 2 films that are a series called The Docs for Democracy. And these are 2 films that are, one of them is about an election, and then the other one's about the Equal Rights Amendment. And so they're election adjacent. So this is, about a week before the election. At that, can you believe it? It's coming very soon. Yep, touching all the wood.
Yes.
But this is more focused on civic engagement and being part of the democratic process and getting involved in your community and that kind of thing, and the power of people being, participating.
Yeah.
And then that weekend, on the 2nd of November, we're dipping a little bit into November here, but I wanted to mention it. We are very excited to have GATE's own Allie come back and lead a workshop with us on animation. We're kind of in this season of animation. It's exciting,
Yeah.
We had Dan to Dan, and we've got Wild Robot,
Yeah.
and we've got the Wild Rumpus and the animation workshop, and we're also hoping to have a new foreign animated film that is wordless, dialogue free,
Oh.
sort of like Robot Dreams, but
Yeah.
and it's called Flow, and it's about sort of unlikely animal friendships that are on a sort of quest.
Aw.
Yeah, it's very beautiful as well, similar to Wild Robot, but but different.
Yeah.
And so so we've got a lot coming up for families. So we're really happy about that because that's we want to make everybody feel welcome. And I know that especially when my kids were little, I didn't feel like I had time, or that maybe the movie theater was the place for me. It was very expensive to go to a major new studio release. And so we are promoting family memberships. Make sure you have it renewed, because if you do, your kids get in for free. So that's pretty good.
That's
easy on the
worth
pocketbook.
it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Does anybody say pocketbook anymore? But I just
The Apple
did.
Wallet.
There we go.
I don't know. We're so excited for that workshop.
Yes.
Yeah. I know you and Allie have been working on it for a couple months now.
We loved working with her on the Lost World one with the Baby Yoda, the Grogu and the dinosaur animation. It was so beautiful.
It was.
So I'm looking forward to seeing what she's going to be cooking up for us next.
Me too.
Yeah. So we'll have that link up soon. So stay tuned for that.
Anything we can possibly expect coming up?
Yeah, that's the category we call We Hope to Get. So you can always check the website. If you go to films, there's a tab in the all films screen where you can just click on We Hope to Get, and you'll see the ones that aren't booked but that we're working very hard to secure. And the first one is Nora, which is the new Sean Baker film. It's about a escort exotic dancer who gets connected with a kind of goofy Russian oligarch, like barely out of a teen.
Yeah.
And they fall in love, and then it's about how that works or doesn't work. And it was extraordinary. I saw it at TIFF, and I really liked it. I felt like it's not the same storyline as Hustlers, but it has sort of a similar vibe of a working class woman trying to pull herself out of her situation. But this one is just treated so differently, and there's just a lot of like fun and love between the two of them, which gets complicated by his rich parents and, her being unable to actually, it kind of draws into question, like, how much can you actually change your situation, socioeconomically, like, how much upward mobility is there or not? And anyway, so it's a little bit heartbreaking, but it's also very sweet.
And that's kind of a prominent theme, I feel like, in Sean Baker's work,
Yes,
right? Like, kind of these more misunderstood, kind of untouched or unacknowledged by society.
Yes.
And there's just so much love in the way he kind of treats these stories.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that being sort of a through line, but yes, it is. And I think he does a really good job of it, of not, I guess that's the difference with Hustlers, is that one felt a little bit objectifying.
Yeah.
It was empowering, but it was also more gritty, or it was more like antagonistic, and this is less so. This is more humanizing, I think.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed that about it.
Cool. I can't wait to see that one.
Yeah, it's good. Another one is very different, The Pope. No nudity involved.
Double
no
feature.
I really didn't think I was doing a yin-yang there, but so this one is all about, it's Edward Berger's new film, and it's about the selection of the new Pope. So it's fictionalized, but a pope dies, and then it's all about selecting a new pope.
Oh.
And I had this on my list because I thought, well, this is going to be something, it's got Stanley Tucci, and he's great. It's also got John Lithgow,
and love him too.
Yes, and Ralph Fiennes, who, I know
Those are my top 3 baby boys right there.
dating myself, but I'm of the English Patient era where he was like a real heartthrob, and now he's playing like a very old priest. But but still, he's amazing. The 3 of them are just fantastic. And I went in thinking like, okay, I don't have any Catholicism. I married a lapsed Catholic, but otherwise I don't have any real connection to the Catholic Church, except for art history. So that was interesting, you know, like.
There you go.
But that's the sort of my limit. And I really thought I'll see it because people might want to see it, and I should see what it's all about. And I was on the edge of my seat. It was so riveting. Yes, I mean, I don't want to spoil it, but I mean, the way that he takes basically something that is just a bunch of old priests in a room casting ballots into something really compelling.
Wow.
And yeah, very thought-provoking, and yeah, so I highly recommend it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pope is on my list.
Right?
Never thought I'd say that.
Yeah, exactly. Team Pope.
Yeah.
And then another one in the animated genre is Piece by Piece, which is Morgan Neville's new documentary about Pharrell.
Ooh.
Yeah, so it's Pharrell Williams' life as told through Lego.
Aw.
Yeah, it's really, you know, again, when you hear that, you think like, what? How do you make a documentary out of Lego? But, you know, Morgan Neville did Won't You Be My Neighbor? So he's done some documentaries that have sort of experimental animation elements to it.
Yeah.
And they were, I saw it at TIFF, and he and Pharrell were at the Q&A, and they were talking about the process and why. And basically he said, the director said that he wanted, well, first of all, Pharrell was like, if you tell my life, it needs to be in Lego. And he was sort of like, why? But he said, actually, once he got into it, he realized it just makes it more universal if you sort of separate it from, I mean, it's all about Pharrell's life and his, I mean, I didn't realize his extraordinary impact on the music industry. Like all of these songs that he'd produced that are.
He's one of my favorite producers because you got Pharrell, you got NERD, you have the Neptunes, like so many things that he was a part of. And sometimes it's just, you don't even realize it, but I think the more I listen to him now, I'm like it's like, that's him.
Exactly.
I don't know.
I mean, and like Gwen Stefani, and you know, I mean, there are just so many people that are, and they're all featured in the film in Lego form.
Cool.
And yeah, he said, the director also said that it was a way to sort of visualize what music looks and feels like in a way that you never could in a traditional documentary. So it like has shapes and that kind of thing, or colors. Yeah, so that was really cool. And he said it was interesting to work within the limitations which are set by Lego, which is if you're going to make a Lego movie, all the pieces have to be Lego pieces. You can't like make weird pieces that aren't actually manufactured as Lego pieces. So it also forced Lego to adapt because their skin tone range was not broad enough for all the characters in Pharrell's life, and that those have now been incorporated into their main production.
Wow.
So that's really cool, as well as hairstyles. So there were like Pusha T's braids. They didn't have a Lego piece for that. So then they had to go and manufacture one. So that was pretty cool to see like how the artistic endeavors of this film, they're like working within the constraints of Lego, but then they can also like push at the boundaries a bit and make Lego become more diverse and inclusive.
Definitely.
So, yeah.
They're helping each other.
Yeah. So yeah, I highly recommend it. Again, it's a great, if you don't know anything about Pharrell, I learned a lot. If you know a lot about him, you're going to love it because you're going to, hear all the music all the way back.
Yes.
And he's sort of a local boy, Virginia's, and I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Oh, I forget that.
Yeah. So, so we hope to have that one coming soon as well.
Oh, I really can't wait for that one.
Yeah.
I love Pharrell so much.
Yeah. Yeah, he was, like I said, he was there, and he was so humble and sweet. And
he was there at TIFF?
Yeah, I know. I got to see him on screen. I took a picture of him, a very blurry picture. But
cool.
And then he's so into supporting, young musicians that he made a song piece by piece for the film. And then at the end, they had a Canadian marching band like come marching through the aisles, like playing the song. Cool. And he's up on stage, and it was just like this full.
So immersive.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was really it was very memorable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I'd have paid to be there.
I know.
But I didn't. So.
Well, I get to tell you about it.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll show you my blurry photos.
Please, yes, I want to see those. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's October in a nutshell.
All right. Thanks, Caitlin.
Thanks, Sheila.
And thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We'll catch you in November.